Okay, Rucker. Nikola Topic has been a fascinating discussion point, let's say, all season and in the No Ceilings chat.
Yes, he has.
Very polarizing. He got called up to Red Star back right around the turn of the year. Got injured after 3 games, just made his return the other day. And I was really impressed with him coming back. I thought he looked really good. He's slowly winning me over. Um, where do you want to start with him?
I want to start with that last part. People don't realize how hard it's been to get Metcalf to say positive stuff about Topic. And it's not you just had we I'll be there with you. We have had detailed discussions about the questions we've had about him throughout the year. But man, did he look good in that
Yep.
last game? And I know everyone's gonna look at stats and what, but I'm just saying from a difference from what I've seen before early in the year, he looked very, very good. I was
Yes.
very impressed. I was like, "Oh, buddy, we are cooking now." What stood out to you? Like, I mean, how long did it like what did he do that kind of got you in like okay like when you get on the edge of your seat when you're evaluating someone you're like okay I'm in for buckle up like fasten your seatbelts like what work got you there.
The different roles he was playing.
Hmm.
Um, where he played a lot off ball, and we didn't see him do that at all with Mega. It was 1,000% on ball. I'm going to dictate the pace. I'm going to dictate every shot selection that the team gets. And in some realm, that's awesome. You love for a player to have that feel, that command of an offense. But it's like you're not going to be able to do that right away in the NBA. Like that's just not who he necessarily is as a prospect. At least I don't think he's at that level where, when we're talking that level, we're talking guys like Luka Doncic. And I don't think that's disrespectful to say. But in this game, he was playing off ball more. I think both or one of his threes came off the catch. He was cutting a little more. His team defense was better. It was just him doing a lot more of the little things that we haven't necessarily seen from him. And then he brought out the incredible playmaking that we've seen all year from him. So I still question, how is he going to score consistently? But now it's more so, does it matter?
It's been fun to kind of see the reactions. You posted a great little edit on social on Twitter about kind of the game cut ups. I went back and watched. He didn't look like a guy that missed a bunch of time.
No.
He looked like a guy that's been with that team for 3 years, and he just looked really, like, calm and cool and
And I don't think he
comfortable.
looked that way in his
No,
first 3 games with them.
no, he looked like a guy that got called up.
Yeah.
And this game, he looked like a guy who's like, "I've been here forever." And hey, he's practicing, he's getting familiar with the team, he's probably been grinding, but it's something different to your first game back thrown into the action. He just looked very smooth and comfortable, and, yeah, some of the passes he threw I mean, all year he's been throwing passes, you're like, "Oh my gosh," but
Yeah.
I also felt like he had a little more burst on some of the drives, like, it just kept popping to me, and it's also funny seeing some fans being like, "He's this big?" And it's like, "Yeah, we've been watching Rob Dillingham and Reed Sheppard for the last couple of months," like, Topic is a big boy, and it he had a couple drives blocked, but
Yep.
it was the creativity that I was like, "Whoa." Like, he tried I think it was like he went left, had a little bit of a burst, and then tried, like, an up and under reverse. It was just a great rejection, but I was even like, "Whoa, okay." Like, it looked like a problem, and, I was like, "Okay. I'm all in now on watching the rest of these games." And then that's where you get excited to kinda go back and watch, and like you said before, I just never felt when he was playing with Red Star, first couple games, just never felt like he was that calm and cool, and now it looked like he was just a veteran out there.
Yeah. And he's gonna be the youngest player. I believe he's the youngest player in this draft. Um, if
He
not
is
he's one of
18.
them. Yeah. So, and making that jump to a new team in the middle of the season to a tougher league, it's incredibly hard. for anyone, let alone an 18-year-old. And going into a new team where he's no longer the guy like he was at Mega, where again he was dictating every single thing that happened on the offensive end. That's another really hard transition. So for him to now kind of make that transition, play more off ball, be a little more um, attentive with his off ball defense, be a little more consistent, and be a little more effective playing off ball on offense in a 4 game span, coming back from an injury at that higher competition level with this new team that again he's played now 4 games with over the last 4 months. I It was really hard for me to not be blown away. And I saw a lot of people being like, "Oh, ooh, big deal. He scored 8 points." That's not who he is as a player. There's so much more to his game than just the scoring. Yes, I still have concerns about what the shot looks like. I'm not sure I totally buy it, but can he make a couple set shots a game? If a defender goes way under a screen, can he occasionally just pull up and knock down a three? I think so. And with him, I think that's going to be enough. Do I wish he was a super explosive vertical athlete that was finishing above the rim? Of course, but he's not. And he still finds ways uh, to counter that because his finishing angles are really creative. They're really advanced. He's got really good touch. Yeah, he's not an above the rim finisher, but he's still finishing like 70% at the rim. So again, does it matter? And he's so smart that when those defenders collapse on him, he's going to find open shooters. So I'm just not sure that when kind of try and figure out what he is or where he should land on my board ultimately, I'm just not sure that the scoring is really going to influence my evaluation of him so much because I don't think that's who he's going to ever be in the pros in terms of being that volume scorer like he was at Mega.
I think you're spot on. But this is exactly what we just talked about. Like, we're focusing on what he's not, and it's like the 3-point shot. It's like I'm right there with you. I don't think it matters that much. He needs to hit a couple a game to make you respect him, but you're not drafting him to be a 3-point shooter. You're drafting him to be a 6'6", emphasis, playmaking wizard with great feel, can put teammates in the right position, hopefully hits a couple outside shots to give defenses headaches. But like that size, and I had the same concerns with the finishing that you did earlier in the year. And then you start seeing the numbers. He's got touch. He's got creative. He's super good at understanding how to make that guy behind his initial defender react so he can find that angle. Like he's very, very good. He's a chess player out there. So like, here's a good question for you. Hypothetically, because we're just going to overreact. If you see the same player for the rest of the year that you just saw in that last game, and I could tell you he shoots mid-30s from 3, would you take him first?
Probably.
I would too. Like, that's where I got at that. I was like, shout out to Corey because he's going to start rolling his eyes when he hears this. But he's been pumping that in. And I'm at that point right now where I'm like, all right, this might be a little late run right here. And that gets you back in the film room because the questions I've had, he's also put the numbers up to counter that. And, like, if he's that creative with touch around the basket, do I need him to finish above the rim? Like you just said, no. If he can produce.
Yeah, and plenty of guys have made very long NBA careers without being high flyers.
Chris Paul, Steve Nash, couple off the head.
Yeah.
They've done well. And they weren't 6'6".
He with Mega, he shot 68% at the rim. That's kind of good.
Pretty good.
It's kind of good. So I don't know.
Did the shot look better to you?
I thought it looked about the same. I thought
it
I
just
don't know.
looked smoother. It just looked smoother. But I think it's the confidence. He just looked more of like, I'm shooting it. Like no hesitation.
Yeah.
Like I'm shooting. And that's where I'm like, okay, that's great.
Yeah, because I believe one of them was off the catch. He just let it fly right away. He was open, didn't hesitate, and then I think the other one defender went way under a screen, and he just kind of took a step back even and just knocked it down really confidently. But it's what did you think of his defense? Because the on ball stuff was still a travesty. I don't think he's ever gotten around a screen cleanly in his life. But I thought the off ball stuff was a lot better.
I thought the off ball was good.
Yeah.
He's still young. I mean, he's 18. Shout out Tankathon, 18.7. He's going to be turning 19 in August, literally after Summer League. I like to see the development in the off ball stuff because he's putting himself in the right position. He's recognizing where he should be. Like there was a really beautiful steal where I was like, that was nice. You understood kind of how to move, rotate with the possession. The on ball, yeah, I'm there. But like again, are we drafting Topic to be an on ball defender? Are we
No.
drafting
Oh,
him to
God,
be a
no.
6'6" playmaking guard? Like
No,
that's where I'm like,
but can you hide him out there? Can you put him as the low man and be confident that he'll tag the roller and recover, or just not be a total negative? And all season, I've been really skeptical about that, but this game was like, oh, look at you getting better. So I don't know.
there's a world. San Antonio, there's a great world. But I know what you mean. Like you'd have to get creative with him, but I also think just his size and the playmaking, like those are two humongous in the feel. Those are like all elite NBA skills to really roll with for that position. So that's why I would be like, okay, can he improve off the ball? Is he going to be a target on ball? Maybe early on. Most rookies are, but you know what I'm saying? Like I'm right there with you, but I think the strengths are starting to really outweigh my concerns.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Um, Anything else on Topic?
Where do you have him?
3. You?
3.
Real original.
I don't like it. Like I'm saying, I have him at 3, and I want to go up.
Ooh, okay. Do you have Castle and Sar over him? God, real original top 3. Who do you have forward?
You have it too, don't you?
Yeah, I have Castle, Sar, Topic.
Son of a gun. I'm not sleeping well. They're playing next week, so I'm gonna be watching it probably live. I don't care what time it is.